Okay, I'm going to do a quick tutorial of using a layer with Sketchbook Express. So on your iPad, you're going to open up the Sketchbook Express app. And here I want to start a new page, so I'm going to hit the plus button down at the bottom. And the first thing I'm going to do is pull an image in. And I already have a photograph of a hand that I want to use. So here I'm going to touch on the little flower with the plus sign, go to my photo library, camera roll, and choose the image that I want to use. Now I also want to create a blank layer that I'm going to do the tracing on. So I'm going to hit the plus sign, and that gives me 2 layers. So now I'm going to go out and work on the hand. The first thing that I want to do is set up my brush. So I go to the brush screen. Here you can change the colors. You can go around the color wheel here and kind of move it to whatever value, what shade of the color that you want to use. And pure white would be at the top of the square, and pure black would be down at the bottom of the square. The second thing I want to check is the radius of my line, and that's if it's thick or thin. And the last thing I want to check is the opacity. Opaque means that you can't see through it, so opacity means is it transparent or opaque. And I want it dark for this one, so I'm going to leave it at 1% right there. So now I know I have a black line that I'm going to trace with. I'm going to tap back out here onto the image, and then you just slowly start to trace around the outer edges, and then any of the interior lines also that you need to make it look like a hand, like your hand. And you want to take your time on this. One of the nice things about this is if you make a mistake, you can come back and hit the undo button and then go back and rework a line. Also, if you're having a hard time seeing something, if you use 2 fingers and zoom in, that might make it easier to see the actual line and where you need to trace. Okay? So you're going to keep working, and then to zoom back out, you just do like that. Got an extra line there I want to get rid of. So I use the back button. Okay, after you're done tracing, then you're going to go back over to your layer button, and you're going to turn off the actual photograph. So I'm going to hit the eye, and that turns off the photograph, and you can see your tracing. Let's look at one I've already finished. I'm going to go back over here. Do I want to save that? No, don't save. Here's the one I have saved. Double click on that, opens it up, and I want to edit it. So that's going to bring back my tools. And here I've finished the tracing, so what I want to do is turn off the photograph of the hand. So I'll go back to the layer image, hit the eyeball so it turns that off, and there's my hand. Now, if I were going to use this to create a drawing, a pencil drawing out of it, I might want to create some kind of grid on top of it just so that I can get my proportions correct. But if I draw in black, it's going to start getting me confused with the actual lines of the hands. So I'm going to change the color of the brush. I'm going to use red, and then I need to move that to the red. Here I can see that I've got red now. Then back on my screen, I'm just going to split it in half both directions. So now I know on my piece of paper, this section of the hand needs to fit in that quadrant, this section of the hand needs to fit in that quadrant, and so on around. It really helps to get the proportions correct on a real drawing.